Yeah, it's Michael Martin. I'm out here in Roseville, California. And before I got into this business, my previous life, I was working at Domino's Pizza for 22 years, and I was actually a franchisee for the last 5 years of that. And I just got out of that because I was just really sick of it. I was in it for so long, and I just wanted to try something new. So I got into kind of internet marketing, affiliate marketing, making money that way. And then recently, the last couple years, I've been dabbling into the offline market world, websites, SEO, and whatever the new thing was in that industry, and just been doing that for a while, and stumbled across this reputation marketing stuff. For me, it's especially for someone who's got that problem with calling people cold and that type of thing. I think reputation is a lot easier. At least it's been for me. I mean, I've done two small mailers, and made, I don't know, I don't know what the total is. I had that $12,000 check, and then maybe, the other ones didn't do a year, but let's say, 16, 17,000 maybe that I've pocketed so far, from two small mailers, 116 and 130. And it was easy, it was, they called me, which is what I like, and and then you have to give a little presentation to them, which was tough for me at first. But once I've had a really good one, I have a good one on my iPad now. That's all there. That does everything for me. I just kind of flick through and follow it and read off it, and made it easy for me. I was one of those type of people, and I still am. I still got to fight it where I need to have all the ducks in a row. Before I make a move, and the problem is I never, I always find more ducks, to put in there, so it never ends, so eventually you just gotta take action, and my biggest fear at the beginning is cold talking to people, and it comes from being in the industry, being in pizza for 22 years. I had people cold calling me constantly, and I hated it. I hated it to the point where I actually would wear a different name tag on my shirt, because I was always the franchisee or the supervisor, and someone would come in and say, "Hey, is Michael here?" And no, he's not here. Give me the information, I'll make sure he gets it. I hated it. So the idea of becoming one of those people, I couldn't get past it. So, the way I started was doing, making videos and just sending the videos out to people. I'd make videos of my products, my services, focusing on one, service at a time. I'd create a video, and I'd just blast it out to hundreds of people, and then have the interested ones call me, and that's how I started it. Yeah, there's definitely a difference. The stuff that I was offering is the basic stuff that you see out there, building websites, mobile apps, SEO, all that common stuff. And the hard thing about that is selling it. There's everybody and their brother out there doing that stuff. So you either gotta know somebody that refers you, or play a hardcore numbers game, and send out a lot of emails and a lot of letters and a lot of everything else, and just play the numbers game, and charge some really good prices so you don't have to, bring in a lot of people to make money, go after the higher end clients. So I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't have a damn clue how to do it. And then like a week later, I run into your letter, and I'm like, this is exactly everything they were talking about. The dollar bill, the recorded message, all of it, you grabbed it. I knew exactly where you got it all from the second I saw it. And I was like, oh, this is perfect. This is exactly what I need. So that's why I jumped on board with it. My first one, I was a little bit lucky, I got to admit, on the first one. I mailed out 19 of them, and I got 3 back because they said the postage wasn't enough. And so 16 actually went out, and I think it was like 4 phone calls I got from it, and two sales out of it, from 16, and then the next week I mailed I just recently mailed out another 30, and the phone calls are coming in. I've got 3 phone calls so far I have to respond back to. But so I mean, it's working. You know, I just need to ramp it up. I need to be consistent. Yeah, I mean, it was, how I use the Google Voice, and it emails you when a phone call comes in, and I had 2 come in, on the same day, and it was, and you think maybe, oh, they just hung up, or what was it? No, they actually left all the information you asked for. It was like, wow, this is great, and so it just takes it all away from, for me, it just makes it easy for me, because when someone calls me, for whatever reason, I know it probably should make a difference, but when they call me, all of a sudden all my limiting beliefs are gone. I can call them, I can talk to them,
yeah.
And because at that point you got to kind of, I guess you got the power at that point. They're asking you questions, and it's just a matter of getting to that meeting, making sure they get there, because I got tricked on my last one. The doctor's like, oh yeah, let's meet at my favorite coffee shop, and and this whole thing. And when I showed up at, she sent her manager there, her office manager, so it wasn't the decision maker, So it's little things like that, that you got to work around. But it definitely makes it easier when they call you. That's for sure. Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you cold call, you have to have skills, And when someone calls you, there's no skill there. You're just answering their questions.
Mm-hmm.
Where if you call them, you got to say, okay, if they say this, I got to do that. If they say this, I got to do that. You say this, you got to do that. And I'm so busy thinking about, what I'm supposed to say that I'm not listening to them. It's just a total cluster. I can't do it. And but when they call me, it's a different thing. They just start asking questions, and I answer them, ask them a bunch of questions, they answer them, and really just trying to get them to a meeting really as quickly as possible. And it's funny because I always sweated just asking people for, the monthly fees, for the $750 a month, or even $500 a month, because I knew in my business, even though I was making a lot of money, I knew, $500 or $1,000, was a lot of money, and so just for the heck of it, I said, well, it can't hurt. He already decided that he wanted the products. He already decided the value. He already saw the value in it. So when he was all set and ready to sign, I just said, hey, I got another question for you. How would you like to save even more money? And he said, well, yeah. And I said, okay, well, if you pay in advance, if you pay for a year in advance, I'll kick off the setup fee. I'll add 2 months, and I'll knock 10% off the yearly total. And he said, all right, well, give me a day to think about it. And he called me back the next day and said, let's do it. And I was like, I think I wrote on Facebook, I practically fell off my chair. I was like, wow, this guy's going to write me a check for $12,000? You kidding me?
So, Michael, you're up. What do you think? For somebody who's skeptical, were you skeptical? Like, you give kind of somebody who's, imagine you, like, before you bought it, what would you say to somebody who's thinking about doing it?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say definitely do it. The hardest thing, no matter what you do, whether it's internet marketing or even an offline business, or this business, is leads. I mean, that's where the money is in the leads. And that's what this Reputation Rebel is getting leads. Really easy, having them call you. So if that's what you need, then you need this. I was already sold on it myself. I was looking into a different reputation program that wasn't about leads, but it was systems, and and I was missing that component with leads, and I was already kind of sold on the reputation model, but wasn't sure how to get people in. Like I said earlier, I was reading the books and stuff, but I didn't know how to put it all together, and you did a perfect job with this letter. I mean, it's just, it's money. You mail it, and people call you, period.